150, welcome back, those who've come back. Lisa?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to put the handout up and then I'm going to talk a bit about what we've learned about energy pendulums that I wanted to share with you. Okay, so whether you've watched it or going to watch it, my main focus on energy pendulums now is basically the Isis, Thoth, and the Spellbreaker. And John in the video, he tells you how he goes all over in 3-inch increments, covering everybody. But for those of us who don't do this sort of medically, I just douse. I have my spell breaker in my little zip bag made by Joya, and I say, "Does this person need a spell breaker?" And if I get a yes, then I ask, over the head, under the feet, or is it ancestors? And then what I do is either I or pass it to someone else who uses, if it's over the head, have the person sit low so you can get at it. But the one that's turned out most often for me is under the feet. And I think it's particularly appropriate now under the feet because it removes fear of moving forward. And what certainly in the UK, everyone's living in this fear of COVID-19 and nobody wants to move. Everybody seems to be immobilized. So I reckon the spell breaker, because it takes off this fear, this immobilization, it lets you decide to stand on your own 2 feet and move forward, be useful. And the people I usually find it's under their feet is mature women who have the girls should be not seen and not heard negative program, which keeps them from standing on their own 2 feet. And after the spell breaker's done the session, first the woman stands up and she always says, "I feel lighter, I feel taller." And John Butler was observing one of these sessions, and he said that women who have this negative program, not seen and not heard, their back heart chakra is closed. But when the spell breaker took the program off under their feet, their back chakra opened. So that's okay. Then I want to talk about Thoth, because Thoth, we've discovered, in addition to absorbing whatever you need, you could also make it into another pendulum. And I first discovered this in Sweden, where I doubt the man had a trauma and I didn't have a segment. And I thought, what am I going to do? And I thought, I'll ask Thoth to become segment. So I focused the image of segment in my third eye, up in my mind, and Thoth sped around, and then he used it, and it cleared his trauma. And we made it into Isis, and friend Jane was using it as Isis, and this little boy came over and said, "That light is so bright, it's hurting my eyes." He could see the white light. Thoth had become Isis. And just 2 days ago, the man Tony, who's painting my house, he'd been for 5 weeks. He'd been doing so much scraping. His arm was just absolutely, it was totally painful. So I thought, what are we going to do about his arm? Well, I couldn't find my Isis. But I got a thought and I said, please become Isis. And I thought of Isis and spun it. And then I also said, and please absorb whatever Tony needs to remove the pain from his arm. So I gave it to him. And I said, take this home and tonight spin it 4 times over your arm. The next morning he came, which was yesterday, and said, my arm is pain free, and I slept overnight complete with no pain for the first time. So basically, thoughts is even more flexible than what we thought. Anyway, so we have a few minutes here, and if people have questions, I will endeavor to answer them. Lisa, can you read out any questions we have?
I'm not seeing any at this time.
Okay. Well, then everybody, that's what I wanted to add, that you don't actually have to buy an ISIS, a Sekhmet. I've made Thoth and other people who now, my close friends who know about this, we've made it into every pendulum just about, except it won't become Spellbreaker. For some reason, Spellbreaker, it doesn't want to be. So it can save you a lot of money. You just take the hand out. If you have a Thoth, if you want to get a Thoth, you can take the hand out, and there's the picture of the other pendulum, and you can ask it to be that pendulum. But then you focus on the picture and spin it. Well, uh, if you send me an email, I can tell you where you can buy them. They're $30, and we have a supply, and it's in New Hampshire, I think. I'm in England, and I've got a supply here, but they really are ever so useful. And last year's convention, someone came up to me and said, you know that Thoth I bought from you? I said, yeah. He said, well, my girlfriend needed ibuprofen, and she couldn't take it. It upset her stomach. So I spun the Thoth over her ibuprofen package, and now she's been using it and it hasn't changed it. Well, I'm not a redhead anymore. I've ceased dyeing it.
Hey,
Now,
can you tell
Sheila,
pendulum?
can you, what? What?
Can
Lisa?
you purchase the tell
I
them where
can't
they
hear
can?
you. If they email me, I will put them in touch with who's got a supply in New Hampshire. Because I buy them and then I leave some in the US and I bring some over here. Now, Sheila's asked, I use Thoth to hold the energy in the rings of the pendulum. Can you unmute Sheila so I can ask her what that means?
Linda, awesome. Moment.
I use hold energy in the rings of the pendulum. I don't understand what that means, Sheila. I use Thoth to hold the energy in the rings of the pendulum. Which pendulum? How do we unmute people?
Sandy, can you hear me? It's Linda.
Hi, Linda. Yes.
Hi. I figured to unmute myself.
Yeah, Sheila, can you unmute yourself?
Just click the little thing at the top with the microphone with a line going through it.
Yeah. Linda, I'll tell you where you can get.
I
will tell you. I will tell you offline because I don't want to put it on the recording.
Sandy, are you coming to New Hampshire? Will you be coming to New Hampshire?
Sometime when I can escape from England and get some medical insurance.
Okay.
We are locked down. We're not supposed to travel anywhere. It's very inconvenient. We up until Monday of last week, we could only see one other person who wasn't family, and I don't have any family here. Anyway, let's not go there. I'm not holding fear. I'm just enjoying moving forward with my life sometime. Okay,
So
Sheila,
can we
I'll
chat
be in
with
the
you
chat.
on can we chat
I'll
with
be in the
you
chat.
on Zoom?
Yeah, but I'm also going to be in the chat room later. Yeah, we can chat with me on Zoom if you want to
Okay.
set up a Zoom. All right, Zoom is better. This thing is okay. Sheila, Sheila, what does your question mean? Sheila, what does it mean, ring of war? You can hold anything. Ask it to hold it. Oh, I see what's happened. I'm actually reading the chat, so that's why you can't see me. All right. Sorry about that. I was reading the chat, so you can't see me. Okay, Sheila. Sheila, are you unmuted? Oh, your sound isn't working. Okay. Well, we'll have to catch up offline. Yeah, I'm sitting in my living room.
I keep,
Sheila and I can discuss this afterwards. But basically,
okay,
I just take stuff and well, first I doused. First I doused, for instance, with Tony. First I doused my painter. I said, would ISIS help his arm? And I got a yes. Then I couldn't find my ISIS. Then I said to Thoth, will you become ISIS? And Thoth said, yes. So I actually asked the pendulum, what will it work? And one final thing about Tony was that I bought a bottle of hemp oil at the local pet store, otherwise known as CBD oil. And I gave him a half a bottle and told him to have a teaspoon before he went to bed. Now, I don't know what effect that had, but anyway. So in England, the pet stores sell hemp oil, which is CBD oil. Amazing. And it's very strong. I think they use it for dogs. Must be. Anyway. So I always ask, and I think usually I finger douse, is this, will this work? What's needed? And proceed from there. I can't be on here and read the chat. Is there any more chat questions? Does people have any questions? I guess it's a bit of a muddle, but I didn't know I could until yesterday get on this phone and do this call bridge. So that's why we sort of stitched this together. But I want to thank you, Lisa, and the ASD for getting this together. And thank you all for participating and coming. Goodbye.